Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this particular video, we are going to solve the problem that is jump scheme. In the previous videos, we have seen the description of this particular problem, that what the problem statement was trying to tell us. Now in this video, we are going to solve this particular problem. So in order to solve this particular problem, we are going to use the greedy approach, which finds the solution in the minima and optimize it globally, so that we can get an optimized solution. Okay, so in this particular example we are taking now, so we have provided with 2, 3, 1, 1 and 4. Okay, so in order to solve this particular problem, we are going to work from the very end of this nums array, that we are going to mark this very end of this particular nums array as the suppose the final destination. Okay, the destination that we are going to that we are required to reach. Now we are going to check locally that whether from its from the previous element we are able to reach to this final destination. If the answer is yes, what we are going to do is we are going to shift this particular pointer final destination. We are going to shift this particular pointer final destination to its previous one. Okay, now okay, so now this particular star will mark the final destination part. Okay, the destination we are required to reach. Now again we are going to check that whether from its previous element we are able to reach to this final destination. If the answer is yes, we will do the same thing. We are going to take the final destination to its previous element. Okay, uh, and remove this particular thing. Again we are going to check that whether from this particular place we are from the previous element we are able to reach to this particular place. If the answer is yes, we will do the same. We will again traverse it to the back, the previous element. Okay, now we will again check that whether from this element we are able to reach to its next element or the final destination pointer. If the answer is yes, we will again take this particular thing and may mark it towards the previous element. If at last we are able to reach to the very end, that is, if the pointer is equal to the 0, or it marks the very beginning of this nums array, we are going to return true, because we have successfully reached to the starting part of this nums array, which tells us that we can move from the starting to the end. Okay, I hope you are getting what I'm trying to say. Now we will quickly code this particular thing, code this particular logic, and see that whether we are getting the solution or not. Okay, so yeah, so we will create a final destination pointer, that is int final destination is equal to nums dot length minus 1. Now we are going to create a for loop. For int index should be equal to, so it should be less than the last element, that is uh, nums dot length minus 2, and when it reaches to the very beginning, that is index should be greater than or equal to 0, what we are going to do is index minus minus. Now inside the for loop, what we are going to do is index plus nums at index is greater than or equal to the final destination. Final destination, what we are going to do is we are going to uh, traverse the pointer to the previous element. Okay, so the final destination thing Wait 1 second. I have to click here. That is final destination will be equal to idx. Okay, now this was the for loop. Okay, so after that we are going to return if final destination is equal to 0, that means true. If final destination is equal to 0. So one thing that I would like to tell you, that what I am doing in this particular thing, no, what I'm trying to do in this particular thing is that suppose at this uh, no, I'm going to use the code itself. So the statement that I have written there was that if idx plus num at idx is greater than or equal to the final destination. Okay, final destination, then we are going to do something. We are going to basically traverse the pointer to the left. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is here, suppose we are given this particular array, no, 2 3 1 1 4, that is 0 1 2 3 and 4. So idx of this particular thing is what, 3, and nums at the idx is 3. If 3 plus 1 is greater than or equal to 4, the final pointer, that is 4, what we are going to do is we are going to take this particular thing, take the pointer and make it to the previous one. So that's the whole logic, that from so this particular statement is telling that from that particular index whether we are able to take the jump to reach to the final destination or not. So the value should be either equal to or greater than the the final index, then only we can make the jump. Okay, so we can take one more thing, that suppose here the index is 2. Okay, 2, and the value of index 2 plus 1, that is equal to 3, and the index at that final destination is 3, that is equal to 3, means that from this particular thing we are able to take a jump. Okay, now this is the whole thing. Now we'll quickly run this particular code. There's a slight error. It is saying that int cannot be converted. Okay, I think I need to put double sign here. Okay, now it is getting accepted. We'll quickly submit this particular thing. So it is getting submitted.